about your love. I'm gonna make you mine. There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind.
Welcome back for more. Today is Saturday. It's a beautiful Sabbath day. Well, not really. It's kind of gloomy outside. You can't really see it. But it's one of those mornings. Or afternoons, actually. You know, we start our day kind of late. But I'm cooking up some lasagna. Dan just got back from the road. We have to change the car battery. One of our tires is acting funny. So, two separate cars, two separate SUVs. But I'm gonna cook lasagna. Like I said, it's the afternoon time. I'm doing laundry. Kellan is chilling. He's gonna be taking a late nap today. And I'm, like I said, I'm starting my lasagna. I'm doing, you know, normally I would do my lasagna from scratch. At some point I was doing it the kind of lazy style. And I was using like pre-made sauces. Today I'm gonna kind of go back old school because I like a sweeter sauce. And these sauces just don't hit for me. So doing the sweet onions right now. Seasoned up my chicken and beef. I usually always do two different meats. My mother did it that way, so I continue doing it that way. She used to do turkey and beef. I do chicken and beef or beef and lamb. I like the softness of like either the chicken and or the lamb. I couldn't find ground lamb that was affordable. Everything was like $10, $10.99 and all, and up $12.99 and stuff like that. Meats are getting kind of expensive. Her groceries altogether are getting expensive. So I have this pot on like a medium, just getting it translucent, and then I'm gonna move them to the side and throw in the meat. And then I'm gonna add my tomato paste and my tomato sauce, maybe a little bit of sugar. Like I said, I like a little sweeter sauce. And yeah, and then I'll start building it. So you'll be in and out with the building. The ricotta cheese part, I'll go through that part later. But like I said, Dan is here, but he is just kind of, I guess, decompressing or being on the road. It was a bit frustrating, you know, like moving to a new area. I'm gonna put you on the side so I can cook and talk. Yeah, so moving to a new area is difficult because you don't know where anything is, you know, like it's like you're really like starting from scratch. Like I think it's been like an emotional morning for me. I don't know why. I can't really put my finger on like what it is, but there's a couple of things going on in my brain right now. So like I said, it's just one of those mornings. But you know, I was watching something the other night, maybe like 2 nights ago, and I was like, yo, I kind of do miss South Florida. Like, you know, it becomes a part of you. Like, you know, where you come from dictates a lot about your personality. Dictates or can dictate. It doesn't have to, but it can dictate. It can dictate like the type of food you eat, who you hang out with. Like as in like, oh, it's, you know, I hang around a lot of Caribbean people, but even though I'm like from Europe, I hang around a lot of Caribbean people because South Florida got a lot of Caribbean people. I eat a lot of like Nicaraguan food because where I lived, you know, like a lot of things can be dictated by where you live. And I was like, yo, a lot of me is 305. A lot of me is Miami. A lot of how I speak, how I communicate with people is that. And the foods I eat is that. Like, you know, I grew up in a Jamaican household, but I love me some Spanish food. You know, I love some Nicaraguan food. I love, you know, there's like Cuban food that I enjoy, which in Central Florida, there's a lot of Puerto Ricans. And you're like, oh, Puerto Ricans eat, you know, like what Cubans eat. But they're kind of different, you know, like there's foods that they're like, oh no, we don't eat it that way, or we don't cook it that way. And it's hard to find things. So going to like what's going on with the cars is like, oh, we're used to going to Firestone. So we're Googling like, we're gonna go to Firestone and get X, Y, and Z. And we're like, oh, well, you know, like, then the closest Firestone is 30 minutes from us. And we're like, oh my God, like, just to get something done with the car, it's like normally you just drop it off I can come and pick up Dan from the Firestone, and then I can go pick him up. You know, we can go pick up the car later. But 30 minutes away, that's like a distance, right? So it's like everything becomes like a thing. But when you Google it, it's not like, you know, we are Googling Firestone, right? But we're like, yo, there's no auto part places or auto shops, body shops or whatever in like Davenport area. Like, we just don't know what to search. So there's this other place called Gator something another. I remember the Gator part because I'm a Gator. But apparently, like, that's where people go to get like their battery repaired or exchanged, or their battery changed, or you know, their tire changed or stuff like that. Not everybody goes to Firestone. Not everybody has to drive to Kissimmee for that. So there are places that. So like, it's like learning that, like, where do locals go for blah blah blah. So like, that's like, you know, you get used to like everything being at ease, everything like you knowing where everything is. So it's hard to like relearn that. So it's frustrating, you know. It's not hard. It's just frustrating because it's like, yesterday I woke up early, or what I would consider early. You know, not you gonna be like 10 o'clock. That's not early. And I went on the road and went supermarket shopping. Normally, there's things I would not buy at Publix. I'm like, oh, well, I know I can get this cheaper at Bravo. I can get this cheaper at Sedano's. I can get this cheaper at Walmart. And then, you know, and I would literally, back in the day, I would go and shop at all those places. I would just know I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to wake up like 8, 9 o'clock and go to 4 different stops. But everything was within 15 minutes drive, 15, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. And that's like going from like one end to the next, you know, like everything was within 10, 15 minutes of each other. So when I went on the road at 10, 11 o'clock, I could be back by 1 o'clock with like a month's worth of groceries. Now we're kind of like learning that where we are currently, and again, to all the Davenport people watching this, we do not hate Davenport. We love Davenport. There are great things in Davenport. We're exploring Davenport, right? But there's differences. And when you're moving from metropolitan area, a different state, you know, you might be like, oh, well, up north we go to Goodyear for our car stuff. Like down here, it's like I can't find it. Oh, the Gator place. Oh, that's where everybody goes to get their tires and their oil changes and stuff like that. All right, learning that. Up north, you might be like, oh, I go to Kroger's or whatever. Like, oh, Publix. I don't really like Publix. I like Kroger's. Or Pathmark. If, you know, like I don't know if Pathmark is even open still. But like learning all those things, you have to be ready for that. Because there is a level of frustration when you're like, oh, I don't know this stuff. I don't know how this works. I don't know, you know, like, again, like Caribbean people, like, normally, and I'm sure somebody can be like, oh, no, I go and buy that stuff there. But it's not that great of a quality, and it's usually expensive. Like, I always am like, yo, I want some green banana. The green banana is like thing I love, right? If I'm gonna eat, I can't salt fish. I love like some like ground provisions. You're not gonna find, you know, yellow, you know, you might find, but they're not gonna be like what I like, right? You're not gonna find the white yams and the yellow yams and the, you know, cocoa and stuff like that at Publix. You're not. Or if you're lucky enough to find it, it's gonna be expensive. So, knowing that I used to be able to just like, all right, I'm gonna drive 15 minutes to go to Bravo and pick up my Jamaican items. And like, yo, or 20 minutes and go to the one that's like near where all the Jamaicans are, 20, 25 minutes. You know, like knowing that. But like here, it's like, where do you go? So you're constantly asking people. Like literally, I stopped a woman at Publix. I heard her accent and I was like, are you Caribbean? And she was like, yeah. She was like, she's Haitian. And I was like, where do you buy fish? Where do you buy your produce? Like your, you know, your planting and stuff like that. Because all of this is expensive. And at work, I'm asking like Puerto Ricans, where you get bacalao? You know, where you get bacalao? Because it's expensive at Publix. And yesterday alone, I probably got maybe 3 weeks worth of groceries, but it was $400. And Dan is like, oh, well, if you doing shopping how you normally do, which is go to Costco, go to Beaches, go to Sedano's. Up here they have Presidente. They do have Bravo and stuff like that, but they're far from here. So everything becomes a task. So I think I'm just kind of like missing the ease of some things. And I kind of, this is like me talking to myself and telling myself what I should be seeing is like, let it be just like, this is not where I want to be. This is not the area that I would like to stay in forever. This is a great place right now to slow down, but I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more of that South Florida, but not South Florida. You know, like the accessibility of things of South Florida, but not all the traffic and the rudeness and the, you know, but still like I want the culture. And Kissimmee provides that. Areas of Kissimmee provide that. Areas of Dr. Phillips provide that. Areas of Williamsburg provides that. So like learning the area, which is the whole point of us renting, you know, is to learn the area, because we are 3 decades. I was in South Florida for 3 decades. Dad was in South Florida for 3 decades. So it's hard, you know, because it's like, I know South Florida. You drop me in the middle of Miami, I know how to get wherever I need to get. Dan is like, oh, he hates driving in Miami, and I hate to have him drive in Miami. But you get me wherever, and I know how to get there. So Broward is a little different. Broward, I lived in Broward for 10 years. So that one was like a learning curve. But there are areas in Broward that I knew well too. So, but just like I had to learn Broward, I'm gonna learn how to learn South Central Florida. So, yeah. So that is one of my little morning rants. Alright, so I'm gonna turn up the heat just a little. Let it crisp up, let them crisp up, and then I'm gonna add all my sauces and stuff like that. It is 2:32. Baby's gonna go sleep for a little bit.
All right, so after several false starts and many starts, and well, I guess those would be false starts as well. Just a short thing, like when you guys consume this media, whether you're watching us, whether you're watching other bloggers, please take into consideration how difficult it is to be consistent with this, because you're not only doing the day-to-day living of life. Like some people are like, oh, they just live their life on camera. Well, that's not easy. You're doing everything that you do normally, especially if you're not a huge blogger yet, where that's all you're doing, blogging full time, which again, I am trying to make sure that you understand is not an easy thing to do. Because you have to go back and rewatch all of this and edit back all of this and cut down what needs to be cut out what you don't want in there. Have to have the courage to allow yourself to be exposed to what is out there. Right now, the theme of what I'm filming is some people would say stop the rot. Some people would say, like, I would call it breaking the cycle. So you get in a cycle or a funk of not getting things done, or you have like something coming up soon. Like I'm going to be starting day shift very soon for orientation, which is a bit much. It's hard for me. Little backstory: I am a nurse, newly hired in the ER. Very proud to say I'm an LPN. Heading back to school to be finished on my journey to RN, but I want to make sure that I put that out there, because I don't think LPNs get enough respect and credit for what they do and what they are capable of doing. And anyway, I'm night shift all day long. But right now I have to train on day shift. It's gonna be a hell of a transition, especially because my wife is still working night shift. And we don't have daycare for the baby, so the handoff is not as easy. And I'll get into that at another time. But we're still trying to clean up the garage from the move, as well as we ran into some car issues. Just your regular maintenance stuff, but the stuff adds up. One car needs a car battery. I went and bought the car battery. Now I need to put that in. There's some things that my wife has been asking me to put up in the pantry / washroom area that this house has. I'm just getting around to doing that. It's Saturday. It's 2 days before I go into day shift. So it's like you're trying to get that stuff done. And then on top of it, like, I know Lisa is not going to say it, but I think she is a little annoyed with the lack of help that she's getting with fixing up the office. But she kind of understands at the same time I have all these modules as orientation to do. Side note, like, there are so many computerized modules that like bigger healthcare systems make their new nurses do, and it just makes orientation that much more daunting. I understand the legality, I understand the training they're trying to get out, but it just, with the deadlines of all this computerized stuff that you need to get done, plus you're trying to learn the physical job, plus you're orientating yourself to a new place, it just becomes this thing that just spills over. So I still got a lot of modules left to do, and all of these things, and I'm trying to stop the rat. So I put on some clothes to get out here and start drilling, and in the middle of that I get a message from my wife saying, hey, can you bring the boxes up from the garage to the office? Now, it's not that that's a huge deal, but like, it's just a lesson that I think I can live on screen. I'm not gonna be one of these people that pontificate a lot of stuff to people and tell them like, this is how you live life and this is how you do this and do that. Along the lines, I hope that while you watch my content, you do learn from my content, as I am learning on screen as well, and I can learn from your comments and interactions. But one of the things I realized that I'm having to learn, and it becomes a challenge, is when you finally hit the like, okay, I'm ready, I'm motivated, I'm ready to do something, the people around you are not always going to be in that mode, or they might be in that mode too, but they might be motivated about something else that you're not necessarily motivated to do. And that can kind of crash your vibe if you're not just going to be flexible about the fact that like, okay, move those boxes. It now becomes in front of the cleaning up of the garage and the car battery and the drilling and all of that. But do that stuff, get it out of the way, and also be infectious with that motivation in case other people aren't being motivated. So it's a simple thing, but it's just a task that sometimes that you could have been like, okay, I'm gonna do A, B, and C, and here comes somebody saying to you like, oh, can you do Z for me? And then you're like, well, where does Z fit in? Can I do A, B, and C and then do Z and all of that? Stop what you're doing, do Z, help them with that, and get back on track to what you're doing is what I'm going to try, and let's see how that works out.
I think it's one of a kind. There's something special about your love. I want it all the time. You will always be my inspiration.